I attended my best friend's mother's funeral only to see my wife there. She was supposed to be on a business trip halfway across the world. Instead, she was standing by his side, thanking the guests as if she were his wife. When she saw me, panic flashed across her face. She pulled me aside and whispered, "Caleb's mother always wanted to see him settled down before she passed. I'm just helping him fulfill her final wish. Don't overthink it." Even my so-called best friend put a hand on my shoulder. "I'm just borrowing my sister-in-law for a favor, Ben. Besides, respect the dead. You wouldn't be that petty, would you?" I sneered and brushed his hand off, shoving my wife into his arms. "Of course I don't mind. Why don't you celebrate a wedding and a funeral on the same day? It's a 2-for-1 deal." The room fell into a heavy silence. The guests, unaware of the truth, began to whisper and stare at us. Lydia glared at me, her eyes wide with disbelief. "Bennett, do you even hear yourself? This is Caleb's mother's funeral. You're being incredibly disrespectful." Disrespectful? Me? I almost laughed out loud at the irony. 2 days ago, she told me her company was sending her out of state for a week. I was the one who packed her suitcase. If I hadn't come to pay my respects today, I never would have known. Her business trip was actually a role play as the lady of my best friend's house. No wonder she wouldn't let me drive her to the airport. This was a calculated lie from start to finish. How did she have the nerve to lecture me on manners? Lydia seemed to realize she was in the wrong when I didn't back down. She reached out and grabbed my arm. "Bennett, please, stop this. We can talk when we get home. We're just doing him a favor. It doesn't hurt anyone." "Right, it doesn't hurt. Even if they slept in the same bed tonight, it wouldn't physically hurt me, right?" I ripped my arm away from her. My heart felt like it had been dropped into a bucket of ice. I stared into her pleading eyes and asked one last time, "Are you coming home with me right now or not?" Lydia didn't even hesitate. She shook her head. "The service just started. I can't just walk out on him." I nodded. "Fine. If that was her choice, then we were done. I'll have the divorce papers sent to you as soon as possible. I hope you two are very happy together." I turned to leave, but Caleb chased after me. He was dressed in a sharp black suit, his eyes red from crying. He looked at me with a face full of sorrow. "I'm so sorry, Ben. I know I didn't think this through. It was an emergency, and I didn't have time to ask you. Please don't hold it against her. If you're going to be mad at me. Lydia has nothing to do with this." Lydia frowned and muttered under her breath, "Why are you even explaining things to him? Do you think he'll listen? You're probably the only man in the world who would get jealous of his own best friend." She grabbed Caleb's arm and tried to pull him back inside. "Forget about him. Let's go back in." Watching them play the part of the grieving couple made me want to applaud. So, I was the villain now? I was the one being unreasonable? My eyes locked onto her hand on his arm. Suddenly, a lot of memories started to click into place. I hated seafood, but Caleb loved it. Lydia's signature dish was seafood paella. She used to tell me not to let food go to waste, so she'd insist I invite Caleb over for dinner. I was stupid enough to think she was just being a good host. I was the fool who invited the wolf into my own home, or the times I went away for work. Caleb would always offer to look after Lydia for me. He'd say, "A brother's wife is family. I'll make sure she's taken care of." I wonder if he ever saw her as just family. They were perfect for each other. I was just the third wheel standing in their way. Caleb patted Lydia's hand and stepped toward me again. He gave me a deep, dramatic bow. "Ben, I'm truly sorry. If this makes you uncomfortable, I'll go inside and tell everyone the truth right now. Even if my mother can't rest in peace, I won't betray our friendship." The words sounded noble, but I didn't see a shred of real guilt in his eyes. "Fine, go ahead," I said. Empty promises are easy to make. I wanted to see if he actually had the guts to tell his entire family he was a liar. Caleb's face stiffened.